Hey. Oh, plug in. All right, let me go and share this really quick. Nobody's on here right now anyway, according to my numbers.
Overactive bladder or OAB.
So let me copy the link. And I will stick it on my Facebook page. It's weird, the last video I put on Facebook, it did not copy the picture over. So we'll see what this one does. All right, so who has joined us? Go and sound off if you want. Let me get back to the video. Let's see, live chat. Hey, Master Far. Thanks for joining me. Lewis, thanks for being here. So if you guys didn't see my last video a few minutes ago, I just made kind of a funny joke video in which I smashed an iPhone. It was pretty cool. I'll talk about it later, probably. No more breaking iPhones. But if you guys get a chance, I put the link in the description of this video. Check it out. It's kind of funny. And I'll share it with other people so I can get some hits on it. So my area is a disaster here. I have not cleaned up in here in a long time. Hey, James, thanks for joining me. I did take some advice from people, though. Some people were saying my Jennifer Gunsmoke, that the bare legs was a bad idea. So I used heat shrink tubing. Let me get a better light on here. Ah, this light's almost burned out. But I used heat shrink tubing on her legs and just folded the edge up, and then I took some white paint and made them look like they've been kind of, used. So here's the heat shrink tubing I used, and I think it came out pretty cool. Then I cut the belt loop off of her leg and put it on this figure, and then I glued it to the and then I ended up gluing it to the bag. So as you move the leg up and down, this thing slides with it. So I think it came out really cool. So now she can ride a horse. Her legs aren't bare quite as high. I still have to make her gun, but she's coming out pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how she's coming out. So there she is so far. I wonder how much the big gym figures go for. I have checked the prices on eBay before. Sometimes you can find, a good one at a pretty good price. I know I wanted to buy Big Jeff one time, and I was really tempted to get him. I also wanted to get the Big Jim from the Wolf Pack, because that's one I had when I was a kid. The Wolf Pack Big Jim. Okay, sit on that horse. Oh. Anyway, let me go and move some of this stuff out of the way. This was my spare parts of female figures, as you guys can see from when I was trying to make my customs. So I was at a friend's house last night, and we were talking about how to make her gun, and I have some cool ideas now. So I'll probably be making that sooner than later, hopefully. So that will be cool once she's all done with her gun, or guns. I'm planning on making one for each hand, so that'll be pretty cool once she's all complete. So there we go. All right, let's look at your guys' questions you have. I got a new Beastman on hold for me to Target. I'll pick up tomorrow. What? Oh, I gotta check out Target.com. See, they got one in our area too. That's cool, man. I did not know they had a new Beastman, or yeah, that new Beastman available at Target. Maybe I can get one mailed to me. That Beastman looks pretty cool. So I was debating whether to open up another Tila or not, being I stole her body. And I was really tempted to open her up and put this head back on, because this head's cool looking. And I thought, you know what? I don't need this Tila. I really don't. I don't need it. So I'm going to put her back on the shelf, because, we got this Tila. And this Tila is the Tila we should have always got, and she's so cool. And She's got the alternate heads and everything else. And yes, I did steal Tila's body to make my figure. I did give her the bare legs though, which is way cooler looking than the ones with all the knee pads and whatever else is on there. Let's see. Where did I stick my box? So I did find out. Ouch. The spear is sharp. Be careful when you reach into your box. I am He-Man. Alright, where did I throw those legs? I must have left them in the other room. But, oh, here it is. When you pulled off, I pulled off her band on her leg to use it, it was actually indented on the other leg. And so it kind of stinks that now this leg really is not that usable unless I was to put some sort of heat shrink tube on here or some new band on here. And at first I thought, you know, I should leave it because of that. But you know, this matches those, so having it the same. And I turned it around the other direction, so the seam is going against the bag. And the bag then has been glued on there to keep the seam from coming open. So I know normally you wouldn't have a small hook on this side, but I thought, you know what? It's fine. Whoever designed the belt made it just the right length. So there we go. What is going on here? My illusion of my eyes. It is cool. I've had 2 more people buy swords lately, so that was kind of cool. I mailed off two swords today. So if you're one of the guys getting them, you should get them soon. They've been mailed off. So woohoo! Swords on the way. Oh, it's the new Beastman figure from CGI show. Oh, use an O-ring. That's a good idea, Andrew. That's an excellent idea. Put an O-ring in that spot. I hope someone makes a custom He-Man as big as or the Savage He-Man as big as he was in Revelation. Yeah, that would be cool. You get to look like the Hulk. I mean, if you look at that snapshot of him from the video, I mean, he looks like the Incredible Hulk. Let me see if I can find that. Wow, my iPad's all dusty. Yeah, I didn't turn my lights on yet. I took them all downstairs to the garage to do my smashing phone video. Oh, my iPad's almost dead. All right. Let's close some of these tabs. Got way too many open. Savage He-Man from Revelation cartoon. Let's look for the images. Of course, they show his big old face on there, but we want to see what his body. You can see here his body's huge in that picture there. That's the figures, the figures. You can kind of see him here in this one. You can just see how massive he is. I was hoping for that one scene. Oh, look at this, what somebody did. That's, oops. Now I did it. Yeah. That's a pretty funny custom. That will work. That will work. Yeah, it's funny you think about it. Even though the Revelation figures are taller, the Origins figures are bulkier. So they were the same height. The Origins figures would be huge next to the Revelation figures. All right, I'm not seeing any more cartoon shots. There's one of him, an animated GIF. Oh. Oh, there's one of him. Yeah, you can see how big he is there. His shoulders are almost the same size as his head. And he has giant lats on the side too. I mean, he's basically the Hulk. Which is funny. That's why I got into He-Man in the first place. Because I liked the Hulk and they never made a good Hulk figure. So, it's kind of funny how it's come full circle. Anyway, Anyway, let's look at your guys' comments. Hey Todd, I failed. The accident broke my Man-at-Arm's leg trying to make a green Skeletor. It's glued now. I didn't boil it off. Oh, yeah, you got to use the hot water. That stinks, man. New Eternia is the same line that Viking He-Man is. Nice. Always heat the parts up. Yes, Pop Actor. I've learned the hard way where I've pulled, even just pulling their heads off sometimes can cause issues. Yep, he should be as big as the Hulk. Look for the custom Savage He-Man made by customizer, custom mixer guy. Okay. Let's see, custom mixer guy. Now, is he on Facebook or is he somewhere else? If you could find it before me, send me the picture on Instagram, and I'll pull it up. Custom mixer guy. Savage He-Man. Yeah, that did not come up with what we're looking for, I don't think. I'm a little scared to hit images. Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting nothing on there. Let's see, Christian said he put it on Facebook. Oh, he's on Facebook. If you find it, man, send me a note on Facebook and I'll show it on the video. That way I'm not searching for stuff where I'm talking. Hey, Todd, ever wonder why they never made Gildor figure back in the day, considering he was in the mini comic? Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, there was actually a lot of figures in the mini comics or characters that they never made. There was like an Indian character from the Lost City or something like that. He was a really cool looking guy. They had a ton of figures. And I think they kind of had more of a free reign for making characters for the comics. Because remember, when Masters of the Universe came out, they were supposed to be an everything line. Not just a barbarian, but they also had sorcery and science and everything else. So technically, you could mix them with any figure line you already have. So if you already had some figures, you just mix them with Masters of the Universe, and you got all kinds of stuff, which was kind of a real cool idea if you think about it. Having that, you know, super broad character base of everything possible you have already, plus these new, you know, the 8-back figures. And so when my kids were little, we took it to heart. I mean, we literally would mix all the lines. We had G.I. Joe, we had little Tykes. Oh, my kids did. They had G.I. Joe, they had little Tykes. They had some He-Man figures. They had the New Adventures figures. They had, what else did they? Oh, they had Marvel figures. They had McFarlane figures. We just had a bunch of different figures. Some DC, but not a lot. And I remember when they were little, we'd line up all their figures, and we would each take our turns picking like you would sports teams. And good guys and bad guys didn't matter. It was basically whoever you picked was on your team. Didn't matter if it was, you know, usually a bad guy or usually a good guy. It was your guy now, you know. And sometimes we decide at that moment who was going to be the bad guys, who were the good guys. And even if you had, you know, picked up He-Man, and, you know, we decided that team's going to be the bad guys. Today, He-Man's a bad guy. And actually, my kids didn't even use the name He-Man. All the names were different. They made up what they wanted to on all the names. It was really cool. So it was a blast. We had a lot of fun. We used to build little tyke forts and stuff out of all the waffle blocks. It was cool. G.I. Joes were just my cannon fodder for my Transformers. That is funny. I mixed Remco figures with Moto. Yeah, I don't think he means Gwildor. I think he means that guy that has the mustache and wears that red armor. Not sure. Bixby was my favorite actor. Nice. When I was a kid, He-Man teamed up with Ninja Turtles against Shredder. Yeah, see, when I was younger, I used to play with Micronauts, like I mentioned before. And so I had my Micronauts and my Star Wars figures in the Micronaut City. And then I had my He-Man figures, which were always bigger. So they were like, you know, the giants or titans of the land because they were so much bigger. Here, let me show you. Ugh. All right, where is my Micronauts? There they are. There they are. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Oh, come on, Wonder Woman, don't fall. Wonder Woman's trying to take a dive off my shelf here. Actually, so was Brave Star. Ooh. All right. Time for a history lesson. Now, I don't have all my Micronauts I had when I was a kid. And it was funny, I actually saved them for my own kids. I remember I packed them up when I was like 9 years old to give to my own kids. Now, these are the new Hasbro ones, but it's the same size. Actually, let me find my Micronauts that my son gave some back to me because he saw I was collecting them again. But they are in really bad shape. Okay, let's slide this back now. This is probably how I lost that guy's hat, was by sliding all the stuff back all the time, making room for the next match. Ooh, almost dropped the microphone. Okay. So here were my Micronauts when I was a kid. These are the actual ones. And I used to like to play glow-in-the-dark all the time, so I stuck glow-in-the-dark stickers all over the back. And this guy's chest glows in the dark right there, and glow-in-the-dark stickers in the back of that too. So these were my actual... Oh, they're in such bad shape. Here's his glowing brain. His backpack's upside down. When I was a kid, I added these wire pieces. I'd strip the plastic conductor. I'd pull the conductors out of the insulators so they could bend. Otherwise, they would snap off. And so I'd replace them so they wouldn't snap off. Oh, poor Acquire. One time I left this in the window and it turned yellow. As you can see, it's totally sun damaged. It's so weird looking at these things again. There's one of my first customs. Oh, mixing parts from different brands of toys. There's one of my customs too. See my paint job when I was a little kid. This poor guy too. See the paint job, me painting the gray on there. I used to use like model paints like you'd use for your cars. Oh, looks like my son must have tried to hot glue them. That's funny. Okay, anyway, here's a time traveler. He's a pretty regular guy. I'm just a regular guy. I will use him for size comparison. Of course, the blue ones were always my favorite. They're always a little bit harder to find. So there is the original Micronauts. And here is an original He-Man. He-Man. So you can kind of see the size difference. And of course, the only female I had for years was Princess Leia, because Micronauts didn't have any females. And then along came Tila. Then along came Tila. Burp. And so it was this idea. And see, in Micronauts, they had these extra giant guys already. And they were like the same size as He-Man figures. And these were like the main bad guy and the main good guy. Now, obviously, this is not his head normally. That's actually He-Man's head from the power sword head. What is it? Laser light He-Man. So that is his head. But the idea is that the main people were big, the same size as He-Man figures. So these were like the titans of the land. Yes, Micronauts are fragile. Some of my GI Joes, and we found out that the connection points are almost the same for GI Joes and Micronauts. But again, the Micronauts were first. See, here's a blue one. I remember I used to imagine doing stop motion with these guys because they have the holes in the bottom of their feet, and I used to hook them to like the city and pretend like they were walking and stuff, you know, and blast them around the rocket tubes, and then when I got into He-Man figures, it was kind of cool because I would have to make extra large buildings out of the city for the He-Man figures to fit in. Oh, my kids have been changing these around. I don't know why he has that chess piece. I never liked that chess piece. There we go. Wow, I got a lot of yellow ones. This was always my favorite chess piece right here, which is funny is because this is the one they use in the comic. So I guess when they made the comic, that's the one they like too. I cannot believe how many yellow ones I have. That's just crazy. Oh, his foot's missing. No. Oh, it's probably in the box somewhere. Oop. Anyway, I used to have a bunch of these guys, but it's hard to believe it's all I got left is remnants of. They used to have metal ones too. Wow, he is just in horrible shape. All right. I guess I'll go and put these away. I know they're not He-Man figures. Making you guys walk down memory lane with me when you're like, I didn't play with Micronauts. So, yes, I used to mix I've mixed all my figures forever. It's just been kind of my thing. And I know some people aren't like that. They'll actually keep them separate. I used to actually have a Lego space base, and it had the space guys, and that was another spot. And sometimes the figures would interact with the Lego guys. They were like little itty bitty guys, and so it was kind of fun. Even though usually when you played Lego, it was just Lego only, or Lego and Micronauts. But okay, I'm not going to transform him. Oh, what the heck. Let's open this case up. Sorry, you guys. I have to do this. This is my favorite figure. So when I was a kid, I always dreamed of having Force Commander, Baron Karza, and their 2 horses. And I'd always dream. One time I actually woke up and I ran to my closet because I dreamed about it, and they weren't in my closet. See, here's his regular head. And leave his legs behind. There we go. And what's so cool is you can pull the head off this horse. Oh, and turn him into a centaur. Now in the comic he had this blonde head like this. So that's why I made this custom head. Or it's actually just He-Man's head. The head's not custom. But the piece that I had to put on for the neck and the screw to work with the magnets, that part's custom. His fish shoot off. He has a chest missile. He's got missiles in here. Oh, it was just such a cool toy back then. Yep. It's actually Force Commander. I know it looks like He-Man because it's He-Man's head, but in my line, it is Force Commander. If you look at the comics, he actually does look like that guy. It's kind of crazy. So it's actually a pretty good fit for Force Commander's head. Alright. Oh. Actually, his name was Prince Argon, but Force Commander was like his title or whatever, I guess. Yeah, the toy was called Force Commander. That's what it was. All right. Yeah, it could be kind of cool to mix Stridor and He-Man. It would be kind of a little bizarre, but I guess that you could do that. All right, time to put him back into his case. So, a lot of my toys from my actual childhood don't exist anymore, but one of the figures that is still from my childhood is Baron Karza right there, the guy in the black armor. That's actually my childhood one, and I know this because I put a shampoo bottle on his head. It was like a big old mirror ball that was on the shampoo bottle, and it had like it had the normal cap inside the middle, and then on the cap this big old metal ball was on. It was actually plastic with some kind of chrome coating, and so I took off the cap on the inside, put it on his head, and it fit. But then I couldn't get it off because the spikes around his head, and I could not take the cap back off. So I carefully used one of those plant hangers with the screw thing and screwed it down so it would make pressure and push it off his head. And when it did, it made a little screw hole right in the top of his head, ever so slightly. And yep, now I can get a good grip on it and yank it off too. I wish Marvel would get the rights to Micronauts back so they can reprint those comics. Yes, I have those comics in my closet. They are so cool. I remember being a kid, reading those comics, and really upset one time and really excited one time because they finally beat Baron Karza with the Enigma Force. Yeah, great stuff. See, I could have just used this horse here for him. Let's take a look. It's like he's gone to do a little pony ride. Which is funny too, because Baron Karza and Force Commander look ridiculous actually riding the horse. But the actual smaller Micronauts look okay riding it. So you don't ever put a big guy in the small horse. Let's see. See, it looks a little big, but it works. Oh, the memories. Oh, he's not staying on there very well. There we go. All right, let's take a look at your guys' other questions. I've been ignoring the chats for a while. Oh, what would you sell? Your Micronaut comics? Oh, comedy at the pool. Oh, I collected the cards. Oh, Garbage Pail Kids. Garbage Pail Kids cards were cool. You know, let me see if I can find them. I may have already given them away. Oh, here they are. So, back when I was a kid, we had cards called Wacky Packages, I think it was. Oh, here it says Crazy Labels. And these cards belong to my older brother. And one day, I don't know, as a older teen, he gave these all to me. All these old cards, all these old stickers. I remember this one so well, the X-Con motor oil. But, yep, the Crazy Labels. Oh, there's another one, the X-Con. Yeah, I remember looking at all these labels as a kid. I've not looked at these in probably 20 years. I just know I had the bag in my cupboard over there. Old Gloom toothpaste. Reduces cavities by removing their teeth. Yeah, that's not a good thing. But yeah, the cards were huge, and of course the gum was awful in all the packages. When you would Hamburger Belcher helps burp up a gas. And they wonder why our generation is so sarcastic and snarky. High temper fear. Oh, shows a guy in an electric chair. That's just wrong. Anyway, I'll put these away. I know this is not He-Man either. These are so ridiculous. That's funny. Like I said, I've not looked at these in so long. That's crazy. I could have sworn they were called Wacky Packages, but they're not. They're called Crazy Labels. That is funny. American Distress. Oh, funny stuff. And it's funny, my brother gave them to me, I didn't even open them. I mean, I've had these cards since I was probably like, I don't know, 16 years old. And I put them in the Ziploc baggie and never looked at them again until just now, just during this video. Weird. Yep, I never had any garbage pail cards. No garbage pail for me. All right, so a lot of you guys are online now. So I'm going to just mention it one more time. Please check out my video I made earlier tonight. The link's in the description. It's kind of a joke video on trying to fix an iPhone. The reason why I'm giving you guys the punchline is I want you guys to actually share the video around. So please share it. Let's get lots of hits on it and see if I can get it to take off. And that would be really cool. And in case you're wondering, the phone in the video is my mom's phone. She asked me to fix it, and it's kind of a little humorous. And it's funny is I actually did follow what it said on the videos on how to fix it. So that's the stuff I'm doing in the video is actually what they said to do, which none of it really worked. So that's what's made it even more ridiculous. Let's see. Mike Fewishmar will come faster. I want my Beast Man. Beast Man, Beast Man. Yeah, that's a cool Beast Man. I have to go look at that again. You can find some Moto Muscle figures. Oh yes, the Moto Muscle figures. They are so cool. You know what? Maybe I should make a video about that next. I have all the ones I made in pink except for the She-Ra ones. I forgot what color they were, but they're not pink. But I could do a video on those. Those are kind of fun. I think I did videos when I first got them too, so that'd be kind of a fun review video. Yeah, I remember when I was a kid, we used to, not when I was a kid, I was a young, when my kids were kids, I was a young adult, and those came out, and I asked my wife to get me a cat box. And the cat box we would use as an arena. And you put the muscle guys in the cat box, and we didn't put the cat litter in there. It was just an empty cat box shaped box, so it was a cat box. And then we'd roll the dice to see the attacks and stuff and have them fight the muscle guys. It was pretty fun. All right, this is the end. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. I know this video wasn't much about anything. Much to do about nothing, but I thought since I made that first video had nothing to do with Masters of the Universe, I figured I would make a video. We can talk about Masters, but I know I went way off with Micronauts and the old cards from when I was a kid. So since I started with He-Man, let's end with She-Ra. She-Ra, I am He-Man's sister. For the honor of Grayskull. There we go. And I will see you guys next video. Yeah, pretty much we did just talk about the 80s. How goes the Castle Grayskull floor? It sounds awful. I've been avoiding working on it. I know it's I feel like a kid with a report due, and you just find everything else to do but that report. I have the files sitting on my computer, and I'll think about it. I'll look at them. It's like, oh, I just know the amount of work it's going to take to clean those up because I did it one time already. And every time I do, I just like, oh, do I really want to clean these up? I know I do. I want to get around to them so I can finish them. But I just know it's going to be hours of pain. And I'm like, do I really want hours of pain today? So, no, I haven't got very far in it. I got the Origins Tila with the awful knees. Oh, yes. If you got the awful Tila, buy yourself a sorceress and swap out those knees. Swap them, I say. The skin color's close enough. No one will ever know. In fact, all my Tilas all have had swap knees. These are actually the sorceress's legs on my Tila. Use hot water first, heat them up, and swap out those legs. Yep. And then you can always donate the sorceress with the bad knees to the secondhand store, or give it to some neighbor kid. There you go. I have this bird lady. What's wrong with her knees? Don't worry about that kid. Yep. So if you want the cool knees, all you have to do is just steal them from the sorceress, and the coloring matches really well. It's not identical, but since you're swapping the whole entire leg, no one will know that it's not identical. So there you go. Cool, cool. Yep, it's the only way to go. Todd, did you collect these little army guys? I did used to have these guys called SWAT that went rat-a-tat-tat when you move a little switch on the bottom. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. They made army people too for that exact set as well. I used to have the SWAT helicopter and the whole SWAT thing. Yes, arcades were fun. There was nothing better than when you were dominating a game, and while you're dominating the game, pretty soon crowds of people start lining up behind you to watch you dominate that game. That's such a cool feeling. I remember my game was Tron, and when Tron and I got together, eventually there'd be a crowd behind me. That was so cool. Yep, when you're just playing at home, you don't have the same camaraderie of, oh, look at this guy, no way. You know, it's more like, oh, okay, that guy's pretty good. Is he cheating, do you think? Did he use cheat codes? Is he using some kind of macro? Oh, little army guys. Oh, yeah, I had tons of army men. The little solid green ones. It was funny because being I'm a customizer kind of guy, I had one favorite guy, and he stood up, and he was standing, and he had a handgun in his hand, and so I cut him off at the waist, and I made a little pin in between there, and then gave him all kinds of different legs. So I went and took other army guys and cut them and made a hole. Actually, I think I had the pin going up from the legs, and it went into the torso, and so the pins were in the legs, and the hole was in the guy, and that way I had legs so he can sit in the tank. I had the kneeling legs. I had all kinds of different legs for this guy, so he can do all kinds of stuff. So he was my main army guy, and then of course I had all the other ones too. But it was just cool because it was like he was almost like he was articulated. Well, he was, because you turn at the waist now that I cut him in half. But then you could also swap his legs to put him in different poses. Punch Out. Let's see. Battleground Tila went up in price. I used to see them for 20. Yes, Battleground Tilas used to be a lot cheaper than the other Tilas. But they went up, and now they keep going up. Mega Construct Skeletor and making an army of mini Skeletors for the larger one. So that's funny you should ask that. I actually did that, but I didn't use the Mega Constructs. I actually used those mini fat ones that came in the 2-pack with He-Man and Skeletor for the video game. I bought a whole bunch of those and made a bunch of mini Skeletors so I can match the cartoon of all the mini Skeletors. So I used the Mini Masters, not the Mego. Oh yeah, the Prisoner of War escape game. The McFarlane Crime Syndicate Superwoman. Nope, I haven't seen that one. I'll have to check it out. Galaxian was worse than Galaga. It wasn't out yet on Nintendo. Laughing out loud. Let's see. Does the Revelations Classic Tila sword work with the Origins Tila? Well, let's try it out. Oh, that's not Tila. There she is. I'm guessing it does because her hand is smaller and her hand is bigger. So let's see. Oh, it's a little bit loose. Yeah, it's really cool. These Origins figures, they made their hands. Because her hand might be stretched out. Let's try it in the Sorceress's hand. It works in the Sorceress's hand. So if I swap the hands, you could do it. And mine might be stretched out a little bit from putting their sword in there. So, you're losing your hand, Biddy. Oh, my hand. Dun da da. Nice. There you go. That actually makes more sense than the sword I was using, but they're almost about the same size. All right, let's check any other questions. Hand chopped off by Darth Vader. Viewmaster was the 3D virtual of the day. Yes, the Viewmasters were fun. Yeah, it does look pretty good. Here, I wanted to see your shield in her hand too while we're at it. Might as well. Give me your shield. Give me that shield. That is one massive shield. Dun dun dun. It's like a Spartan shield. It's like a Spartan sword too. We are Sparta. Oh. Nice. All right. I am so pleased with her. Look how cool those pant legs are. Dun dun dun. And again, I just used heat shrink tubing. I put them on her legs, rolled it up before I shrunk it, shrunk them down, cut the top off, cut a slit where they reconnect to get them back on there. You can see the slit right there. And then I put white paint, like I said, on there to make them look like they've been old. You can see on the back, I didn't do the weathering on the back, so not quite the same. But I think it came out really cool. I can't wait till I get her guns finished. Well, I have low battery, so I might end this sooner than later. Do you think they'll continue after Universal Studios buys the license? What? Universal Studios? Okay. Games, you're going to tell me more about the whole Universal Studios buys a license for what? For He-Man? They made a lousy one for Atari. Yes, the He-Man game for Atari stunk. If that's what you're talking about. E.T. was the worst game ever. I've noticed if they made a game that was based on a movie or a character that was outside the video game realm, the game stunk. Because it was all about the name, not about the game. And so a lot of those games that were based on other properties, you know, they knew the game would sell because it was He-Man or E.T. or Superman or whatever it was. And so the gameplay wasn't that spectacular. So, yes, I was never really a fan of games that were like that. I like that game Choplifter. That was a lot of fun. I think that's what it was called. Maybe it's called Chopper Command. I don't know. Let's see if it fits. Oh, let's see if it's now that her hand's been sitting for a while. Now that her hand was sitting for a while and not had that sword stretched in there, it does fit a little better. But I'm going to stick this sword back in there. Say goodbye to your shield. This Tila figure is so cool. So many possibilities. I don't like the double jointed elbows, as you guys know. But other than that, she looks cool. She's got some great accessories. The little bump right here is kind of weird, but I can see it's, you know, it makes sense for armor. All right. I heard Mattel lost the He-Man rights also. Oh, the Dolph Lundgren movie. Yes, Chocolate was a lot of fun. All right, so I really am going to cut this video now, but please go watch my video I made. It's like 7.5 minutes long. This link's in the description. It's the last video I just made before this one. It's not a live video feed. It's kind of a lame joke, but please watch it, share it, get it out there. Let's see if we can get people to like it. And it's not a He-Man video. It's a cell phone repair video that doesn't really repair a cell phone. So I will see you guys. Ask Mike Fee. He found it funny. So, wow. Eric ordered 4 He-Man today. Nice, Eric. It's funny. My son and I, the other day, we were watching Kenobi. And it was a shorter episode. It was only 38 minutes or something like that. And so he goes, hey, Dad, we still have time, you know? And so he pulled up his game system. We played Worms Armageddon. It was a lot of fun. I got to admit, I haven't played that game in so long, since they were little kids. And here he was playing it on, I don't even know what system it was. I don't know if it was a PlayStation or an Xbox. I don't know. I think it was PlayStation. But it was pretty cool. Yes, Mike, please send me pictures of your Beast Man. That'd be cool. Or post them in the lounge. That way we get full quality images, not just... Because when you post them in messages, it just kills the quality of the picture. Yes, Dolph was in Rocky 4. I just read an article that Mattel did not lose the rights. Nice. The Russian guy. Lemmings. Oh, yes, I played Lemmings on my Amiga. I must break you. Oh, yes. Yeah, that was one of my kids' favorite. I was a fan of Rocky 3. Rocky 3 was my favorite. Mr. T. You know, it's the eye of the tiger. You know, whatever. So Rocky 3 was my favorite Rocky. Flashback 2 video game is coming. Nice. All right, you guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this. We've been doing this video now for almost 50 minutes. I pity the fool. Oh, did you ever see that skit with the Foo Fighters and Mr. T? Oh, that is so funny. Anyway, I digress. If he dies, he dies. All right. Until next time, you guys. Good journey.